The idea came about, I had met Edie Roche a couple of times down in the Rose Tralee Festival, and Marie Cox is a very good friend of mine. She's the head medical coordinator with the Chernobyl Children Project, and Marie knew I was involved with the Orphanage Musical Society, and she asked me was there anything that we could do to help them mark the 25th anniversary of the tragedy, and we decided that maybe we'd put on a bit of a concert for them as a fundraiser or something. But then I saw the programme on television, the reality programme, The Volunteers, Do the Right Thing, and I saw that they were out in the orphanage in Vesnova and that they had a little stage and a hall out there, and I started putting two and two together, and I said, God, wouldn't it be great if we could actually go out there to them and put the concert on for them out there. So I said it to Marie, and Marie passed on the idea to Edie and other people, and they all said they'd be thrilled to have us out there.
And hold it in our heart
when stars go out each night.
When stars go out each night.
Remind us where you are.
Remind us where you are.
Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
When shadows
Over time, the tragedy of 25 years ago has become a distinct memory. But the truth is that even though 25 years has passed, a new generation has been born into the most toxic environment of the world, and they are paying the price with their fragile bodies. Birth defects have increased by 200% in affected areas, and congenital deformities have increased by 250%. Without the likes of Edie Roche's Chernobyl Children's Project, these children would have no chance of a life worth living.
a world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky.
2 months before our trip to Vesnova, Marie came and gave us a briefing of what to expect in the orphanage. While she was here, the 11 of us expressed an interest in doing more than just a concert. She informed us at this point that the children are fed and that they receive medical treatment, but they don't have the one-to-one human touch that most children need. And the best gift that we could give to them is to spend time with them and bring a smile to their face.
What are you laughing at? Yeah, you like that, don't you? More. You want more? Yeah. Paka. Oh. Marina. Oh. Paka.
Just from the night before and talking to everybody else that was there, we kind of had this built-up picture of what the children were going to be like and the deformities we might see and the different illnesses they might have and what conditions they were going to be in. So there was a lot of, well, for me there was a lot of anxiety and kind of, not fear as such, but worried and kind of apprehensive about what I might see. But when we walked into the room and you saw the cots, and the very first child we were introduced to was nicknamed the Giggler. So when we walked over, Marie started tickling her and she just went into peals of laughter. And the minute you heard her laughing, all of those fears and all the anxiety and everything just melted away, and they were just children. And they just wanted that little bit of love and attention and to be picked up and cuddled, and just to hear them laugh and to see them smile was just fabulous.
I saw you.
Well, over the course of our time in the orphanage, each one of us we had developed a particular bond with a particular child. For me, it was a little girl called Anya, who was she was inside in the high dependency unit. She was sitting over in the corner. I realised soon that she was blind, and I went over and played with her, and she just loved the chance to interact with other people. Anya turned 6 3 days after we left the orphanage, and for all I know, I'm probably the only person in the world who actually knows that. And I just fell in love with her from the start.
This is Marina. Marina is 18, which means I think Marie said that she'd probably be next to go to one of the adult institutions. So it's a little bit sad. But you're gorgeous. Gorgeous. Dad?
One of the girls said it's like the kids all have plugs and you're a socket, and when you go over to them they just plug into you and they just withdraw every bit of emotion and love that you can muster up.
Come on. That was so cool. No,
After a quick rehearsal, it was time to perform a few songs that we'd put together for the kids who were healthy enough to be brought down to the lovely little hall in the orphanage. But first of all, some of the kids put on a show for us, performing some of their national songs and dances.
И следующая песня, она будет завершающей сегодняшнего выступления.
Marie asked us to sing a couple of songs in each of the units throughout the orphanage. She particularly wanted to see the effect it would have on certain kids.
It was amazing. Parts of the R&R were used to singing to large audiences, but when we had the opportunity to get down and sort of sing in front of small groups of children and look at the way that they reacted, that they stopped what they were doing, they smiled, they actually paid attention to everything that we did. It was one of the most probably life-changing moments I've ever experienced.
Was the love you gave. All I needed was another day, and all I ever knew. Only Yay!
Much of the Chernobyl Children's Project's efforts go into the providing of Homes of Hope. This is a programme to try and deinstitutionalise children from orphanages in Belarus. Each Home of Hope shelters up to 10 previously institutionalised children, placing them with loving foster parents. Today we visited one of those 24 Homes of Hope and we saw just how effective they can be.
Since the last time I was here, this guy picked 8.
part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters?
No. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
It was time to head back to the orphanage and to treat the older kids to a disco. Under the supervision of DJ Sasha, we spent an hour dancing with the kids and treated them to the rare luxury of sweets and biscuits. There was a lot of happy scenes there, like the discos and the concerts and stuff, but you knew that just for every one happy scene you saw, there was another 100 sad scenes just waiting around the corner for you. I mean, just seeing the kids eating in the canteen, it was, we're involved in showbiz, it was just like a scene from Oliver. They were not herded but brought into the canteen and they had their meals finished within 3 minutes in case anybody else robbed their food, and it was just really horrendous. But the place was spick and span and clean and everything, but it kind of gave you a false sense of security because we weren't allowed to drink the water in the place. We weren't allowed to touch the water, we weren't allowed to shower or wash with the water or anything. And this is the water that those kids are drinking every day. And even in the car park there was trees out in the car park. It was winter time, so you could see there was like crow's nests up in the trees, but it was pointed out they weren't crow's nests, they were actually cancerous tumours on the trees from the radiation. And this is just in the car park of the orphanage.
Well, the hardest part for all of us, I think, was leaving the orphanage because, well, we knew that we had put a smile on the kids' faces. It was just a temporary smile and really none of us wanted to actually leave.
Couldn't even look at each other. We knew we were all on the borderline, it was breaking down, and we just the it was just terrible.
Let this be our prayer.
When we got onto the bus and the doors were finally closed, and driving down the road, looking out over the field, it was crazy. He was not going to be there the next time when we get back.
Needs to find a place. Guide us with your